Fireplace. Find your perfect fireplace and have it installed and ready before the cold weather hits again. If you already have a wood fireplace, consider a fireplace insert or check out the entire selection at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces on East Franklin and Riverside in Minneapolis. It will transform your inefficient fireplace into a reliable, environmentally smart heating system.
This is Peter Solak, owner of Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Have you ever watched your dog or cat curl up in front of a fire? It's primordial, the way it touches both the animal and the human. We know that fire reaches deep into the heart and soul. Let us show you how. We have over 35 working units on display here in Minneapolis. We are located at the east end of Riverside Avenue at 2901 East Franklin. From I-94, take the Riverside Avenue exit. Find us also online at woodlandstoves.com. Let us help you make a fireplace part of your life.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
You want a fast way to save some money? It's easy with Rudy Luther Toyota. Start with the Luther Advantage Card. With every new and used vehicle purchased, you'll get 3 years of 10 cents off per gallon of gas at Holiday Station stores, as well as $6 off the Works car washes. That's a lot of savings, especially when you tag that with the incredibly fuel-efficient Toyota hybrid models. Buying at Rudy Luther Toyota makes you a smart shopper. Find out all the details about the Luther Advantage Card, including all the ways you can save by visiting Rudy Luther Toyota, the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
It's back to school time, which means getting back to school ready. One important thing to add to your to-do list this year is making sure your child is up to date on their vaccinations. Getting vaccinated will help your family avoid missing out on school, activities, work, family events, and vacation. Keep your family healthy by talking with your healthcare provider or visiting our free vaccination clinics in Minneapolis. Visit the City of Minneapolis website and search for vaccine clinics. A message from the Minneapolis Health Department.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies tonight with a low around 62, Wednesday partly sunny with a high near 79, and Thursday a chance for rain with a high around 80. Looking for the perfect night out? Head to Crooner Supper Club. There's amazing shows all year long, and stop by Maggie's Lounge for cocktails and conversation. Visit croonersmn.com for more information. Crooner Supper Club, where old school nightlife meets the 21st century. croonersmn.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hit me cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot, and we discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dega. And this portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, I just want to mention I'm not at the fair today. I was there earlier and really walking around like a zombie. I don't think I'm up for this, and I have to really apologize to my Chujunk here, Haley, by calling her Harry yesterday a couple times because I was delirious in the million-degree heat. So again, I apologize here live on Native Roots Radio.
Oh, well, thank you, Pina Gigi Dega. But I know my name is not Harry, despite that being delirious in the heat yesterday. Glad to, glad you're okay. And yeah, I know that the storm swept through the Twin Cities last evening, and they were just, probably the worst storm that I've seen this summer.
Yeah, and it's so funny. 2 years ago when we were at the fair, we had a small little child's teepee, a 12-footer. You could fit in there, and get pictures taken, kind of get people to come to the booth. And a picture came up where there was a storm 2 years ago and the teepee blew down, and it was like the exact same day 2 years later. What a trip.
Yeah,
And then
always.
and then the storm last night, I don't know if you got it where you live, but I was at 4:30 in the morning. It was windy, raining, and lightning every 2 seconds.
Yeah, we kind of got a double dose, one in the evening that came through really fast. It was a lot earlier, like an hour earlier than when they thought it was going to arrive here. But yeah, and then another part this morning that woke me up as well. I know a lot of people were out of power. I think over 88,000 customers of XL were out. I had, my elder had to go over to Elders Lodge and check on our elders out there. I know they were out of power. And that was restored this morning around 9. So, yeah, definitely be looking out and taking care of all of our vulnerable community members, such as our elders. And yeah, I was able to pick my Gaga up, which is your auntie, Robert. And she's been chilling in the AC, having pizza, living her best life, and watching smoke signals.
Hey, so that's who's watching smoke signals. Hey, I gotta just say this. I go off script a second, Haley. But what's funny is there was a thing I posted earlier today, and it was somebody said spotted on a Tesla today, and there's a sticker on it that says, "I bought this before we knew Elon was crazy," and I thought that was hilarious. But when on my way home from the fair, I saw a Tesla, and with the exact same fonts, the fonts on the back of the car that says Tesla, it
Yeah.
now with the same font has these stickers on it, and it looks like it's done. If you look at my Facebook, it says Kamala on the back of the Tesla instead of Tesla. It's like
I saw that. I saw that. And at first I didn't know like what was different about the car. So I had to zoom in. And of course it said Kamala instead of Tesla. That's pretty funny.
So we're fighting back. Like we fight back at the state fair for appropriation, one T-shirt at a time. And it looks like the Tesla car owners are fighting back one font or one sticker at a time. So that's really, really cool and fun to see. Hey, what's going on? There's a lot going on here on Sunday, September 1st. I know we're going to be doing a couple things, but tell our listening audience what's going on, and also talk about where we're going to go on Sunday.
Yeah, thank you. Well, Labor Day weekend is coming up this Sunday, September 1st. Tons of fun things are happening up northern of our Twin Cities here. Mille Lacs Indian Museum from 10 to 5 p.m. This is the Native American Music and Arts Festival. The music lineup includes Little Otter Singers, Days, Pretendians Band, and Keith Sicola. Lots of vendors and artists to see. Food vendors, which, probably my favorite part, include our friends at Trickster Tacos with that Ho Chunk flair. Wana Woda, which I had a really good taco from them one year. I think that was at the Owamni Festival in Minneapolis. And also the Slush Lab. So if it's hot, you could cool down with a slushie.
Wow. Hey, and then talk about what we're going to be doing Sunday ourselves. Labor Day weekend is almost here, and we're going to be driving to Black River Falls. And we know we have a lot of listeners in Black River Falls, but of course we're on the Civic Media, and we have a lot of listeners, period. So talk about that a little bit. I'm going to be wearing my other hat, and you and our friend Arvina is going to be covering this.
Yeah, I know. I get to finally meet our friend Arvina Martin, our Wednesday guest, in person. But yeah, Ho Chunk Nation is going to be having their Labor Day powwow weekend this coming weekend. Safe travels to all those going out of town or back home to their reservations for powwows. We'll be traveling to Black River Falls, Wisconsin, Labor Day morning. So that this will be Monday. For the Native Coalition event, Coffee and Democracy with special guest Congresswoman Sharice Davids, who is Ho Chunk. And that is from 10 to 11 a.m. on Monday. Plenty of time to get out to the powwow after and make that first grand entry because it ends at 11 a.m. This will be a meet and greet and a conversation at Revolution Coffee Wine Eats in Black River Falls, Wisconsin. You can check out our Facebook page for that RSVP link.
I'm excited, and there'll be other people there, like the vice president of Ho Chunk Nation, our friend Danielle DeLong, and there's going to be a representative from District 4 there named Robert Pilot. So come say hi and come meet Charisse. She is an awesome person, and of course Ho Chunk. Hey Haley, too, you got to bring a pair of swim shorts if it's really hot, because Vice President DeLong showed me, and her daughter showed me, a lake that is due north from the powwow grounds that is very swimmable. And if it's hot like it always is when I see you at that powwow, I'm going there for
We'll have
a
to.
special amount of time and coming back to the powwow.
Yeah, we'll have to go for a little sacred swim on our Ho Chunk land out there.
Yeah,
that'll be nice. But yeah, I think cooler weather definitely on Labor Day, thankfully.
Yeah. Well, hey, we got a jam-packed show today too, and it's really great to talk to you. And I'm in air conditioning now, and I'm not delirious as I was yesterday, and I think Friday, but really yesterday because it got really warm. Today it's like a perfect day. A lot of people at the fair, a lot of people at our store, and we and Haley, I got to say this too. I am so grateful, and I hope everyone that comes to the fair and has come out and reached out their hand to me and said that they listened to our show. I want to say a big peeny gigi. That means so much to you and I and Wendy and all our other people that are on this show.
Yeah, really. It means a lot. It's so fun to see people in person, and we're not just staring at a computer screen. And getting feedback from listeners. Shout out, I know we have a minute left here. Shout out where Native Roots Trading Post is at the Minnesota State Fair.
It's at the West End Market at the Minnesota State Fair. So it's all the way. If you keep going west, you'll run into it. It's that sky thing is the end of it. If you look for us directly and haven't been there on the West End, just look for the windmill, and we're kind of right by the windmill. I guess that's the best way I can put it. But yeah, you've put a great map out on Native Roots Radio where we are, and I've shared that as my own. So I appreciate that, Haley.
Of course. No, I would definitely need the map too. So you can head over to Native Roots Trading Post, Instagram, or Native Roots Radio for that Minnesota State Fair map, and that'll direct you.
Hey, we have our friend Ruth Buffalo on, and also State Representative Heather Keeler on later. So it's a jam-packed show. We'll be right back after the short message. This is Native Roots Radio.
If the statistics say that 1 in 3 Native women and 1 in 6 Native men have experienced sexual assault in their lifetime, it means our whole community is affected by sexual violence. 1 is too many. Don't stand by, stand up. Don't engage in acts of sexual violence, and shut down the dirty jokes, the gossip, the victim blaming and shaming. As a community, we can change the way we respond. Contact the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition to attend a workshop to learn more.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
It's back to school time, which means getting back to school ready. One important thing to add to your to-do list this year is making sure your child is up to date on their vaccinations. Getting vaccinated will help your family avoid missing out on school, activities, work, family events, and vacation. Keep your family healthy by talking with your healthcare provider or visiting our free vaccination clinics in Minneapolis. Visit the City of Minneapolis website and search for vaccine clinics. A message from the Minneapolis Health Department.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl. Howl!
Discover the emotional depth and vivid storytelling of Jay White's Arikara Proper at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. This solo exhibition celebrates Arikara culture through the lens of an urban Indian perspective. Experience themes of empowerment, depictions of Native women, stars, and star quilts within White's vibrant acrylic paintings. Arikara Proper is showing now through October 5th at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. Get inspired by Jay White's powerful storytelling on canvas. Details at allmyrelationsarts.org.
This is Leonard Peltier. I am in Coleman 1 U.S. Penitentiary, and I'm listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native Concrete and Masonry. Check out their work at nativeconcretemasonry.com and give Chuck a call at 612-597-0421.
Give them a call. Hey, we have our friend Ruth Buffalo, president of Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center, and our good friend here at Native Roots Radio. Welcome, Ruth. Good to see you. Good to see you here, and also great to see you always in the community. So fun to see you and your family at the State Fair this year.
Yes, Mazagada, it's good to see you both.
Yeah, so a lot going on, and one of the things I'd really want to talk about is Wednesday on the 28th from 9 to 4 p.m. There's some really cool things happening at the Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center.
Yes, we have a free vision clinic that'll be in the community room, and so we're super excited that our staff have coordinated this event for the community. It's free, and it's from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. like you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just a sample of what great work that happens at the Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center here in Minnesota, and that you are leading the way with all these great people that have been with the Women's Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center, and we're excited all the work that is happening out of there and coming up on 40 years.
Yes, September 16th, our 40th anniversary is just right around the corner, and we're super excited. Our staff have been diligently planning the community event, and so there will be lots happening September 16th at MIWRC for I keep saying 40th. It's our 40th anniversary for Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center, and that will be on September 16th of this year.
Yeah, that's exciting. And, you know, I know you guys do a lot of work here, and yesterday was oppressive heat, and I hope you and your family are okay, but we also put some tobacco out for our homeless people that you guys help and serve.
Yes, for sure. There's definitely been, serious concerns of how our unhoused relatives are faring, even like from the extreme heat and then the thunderstorm, just kind of one extreme to the next. And, our boy twin mentioned that last night. So we got caught in the rain on our way back from one of the lakes, and he had said, we need to pray for everybody, and especially the unhoused relatives, and so he's 10, he's a fourth grader, but definitely always on front of, front and center, top of mind is our unhoused relatives, especially in these extreme weather conditions, even in the urban areas.
Yeah, well, really good point. And also I got to meet your twins there. That was exciting. And I know they weren't as excited as I was, but they were kind of excited. They've been hearing my voice over the years, interviewing, talking with you over the years.
Yes. Yep. They sure enjoyed themselves. At the fair, I believe we went Saturday evening and then all day Sunday. And so definitely enjoyed the fair and everything. Sunday, we were able to take in the horse show, caught the parade, ran into all of you guys, saw the trading post stand, and yeah, it was a good eventful day.
Yeah, I heard you bought some earrings too. Oh, wow.
I sure did. Those are my favorite now, the lightweight ones. These are kind of, middleweight, I would say, medium middleweight, but yeah, I definitely love the lightweight abalone shells for sure. Those are those should be definitely picking up some steam out there because it gives our earlobes a break.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
Ruth,
Yeah.
it's also your birthday today, so we gotta shout
Yeah.
you out on Native Roots Radio. Happy birthday, Hochene Humpke Beske to you.
Oh, Manzagadads. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, definitely. And I appreciate you coming on during your birthday too. It's very special. And wow, yeah, thank you, Haley, for bringing that out. And it's so funny over the years. I have had to wish you happy birthday in like 4 different Facebook.
Yeah.
It popped up. It's like, oh, this is this one, this one, that one. Oh, what the heck? Let's do them all.
Yeah, no, I got locked out. I get locked out of them. I think I got locked out of them for sure. It was weird during the legislative sessions and able to get back in. But funny story too about my first Facebook page. I had deactivated when my baby sister passed away, and so it was just kind of like to help with the grieving process. But later, I reactivated it and found that there were people back home messaging me, and they were like, "Hey, we have a check at our house. It came to our house," And so then I was like, "Oh man, yeah, I better just keep all of these up because you never know." Just kidding.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they got a blanket for you, a nice sacred blanket. Yeah.
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 That would be
That's
cool.
interesting.
I was gonna say it'd be cool if Facebook could just like combine all of them into one. Hey, Meta, if you're listening. Just kidding.
I hope they're listening and they let us boost this show. No, I'm just kidding too. Funny. It's been a trip. I've been able to keep track of a lot of students, and it's been fun to see the students at the fair come visit us at the trading post or run into them just in the state fair. And and I'm sure a lot of people have met you for the first time at the state fair too.
Yeah, it was yep, for sure. It was kind of like a reunion. Even we were at Mall of America during Shakopee's powwow or their celebration, and running into people that you meet or are connected to through Facebook, and people introducing themselves and things. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I remember meeting you first in person too, and it's like, oh my gosh, my Facebook's come alive.
Yeah, one of the comments I think I get most from people, even at different gatherings, is like, "Oh, I didn't think you would be this tall." I'm like, yeah. So.
She's like, yeah. It's like, what do you say to that?
Yeah. Hi. No.
Well, truth be told, I think I've said that a couple times too, but
But you play basketball, so it makes sense.
Yes. Yep. And yep, I'm Hidatsa and Mandan and Apache, but yeah. Yep.
Definitely. Well, what's going on with the birthday tonight? You guys celebrate, whole family celebrating?
Yeah. Yep. We are. We had cake last night with the whole family, and so today, if it was a little bit warmer, we'd maybe try to go swimming somewhere. But looks like we're maybe just gonna go, not just, but yeah, we're gonna probably go have a meal somewhere and just kind of spend some time together.
All right. One of our listeners on Facebook, who is one of our great listeners, Santina, wants to know how tall you are.
I guess 6 foot. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can touch the rim. Hey.
Used to. I mean, yeah. I'm getting older now. I mean, younger, so we'll see. But yeah, I used to love to jump for sure.
Yeah, so fun. Yeah. So birthday. Geez, you've really done so much work in your short life and your family, and it's fun to see your daughter. Your daughter's like picking up work with you in a sense of really doing good work for our community and your community. So it's just really great to see how you and your husband are really just great role models for your kids.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, my husband is, I think he deserves more credit. He is kind of always behind the scenes, but he's such a huge supporter, and just does so much for our community. I think that not many people know about too. He's been a basketball, baseball, softball coach, and also has gotten into like screen printing. Like before the pandemic shutdown happened, he was taking embroidery classes and kind of went full steam ahead there. And so he's pretty busy. He's a barber, and he also does screen printing, or even the hot press, for t-shirts, like direct to garment things, and embroidery, like star quilts, duffel bags, backpacks. He's a hat guy, so he's got a collection of like embroidered hats, and yeah, so he's pretty talented, and I think he deserves a lot more credit than he gets, and he's definitely a huge supporter and family man. So we're super thankful for him.
That's awesome. And I got to meet him for the first time at Powwow Grounds a few weeks ago, and that was awesome because I got to meet him. I've never met him before. So that's cool. Hey, we're here with Ruth Buffalo, and we're going to talk a little more here in the next segment. This is Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Stay with us. The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with MIWRC. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. MIWRC dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune into MIWRC on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hi, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. If you need new windows for your home or business, I highly recommend 952 Windows. They offer windows and doors with the longest warranties and Energy Star's #1 most efficient ratings. I can personally vouch for them, having known the owner for decades. They did a fantastic job on our second floor addition 20 years ago, installing windows, roofing, siding, and even adding a master bedroom and bathroom. 952 Windows is part of Loyal Home, founded by some of the Ethics Award-winning former Window Light employees. In my opinion, they're one of the most best-kept secrets in remodeling. As Onyx Bath and Rosebud cabinet dealers, 952 Windows guarantees top-quality products. Most of their business comes from referrals, so much so that they have been called the best-kept secret in remodeling by their competitors. For unbeatable deals and trusted service on windows, doors, roofing, siding, kitchens, bathrooms, and more, call 952 Windows or visit 952windows.com.
It's back to school time, which means getting back to school ready. One important thing to add to your to-do list this year is making sure your child is up to date on their vaccinations. Getting vaccinated will help your family avoid missing out on school, activities, work, family events, and vacation. Keep your family healthy by talking with your healthcare provider or visiting our free vaccination clinics in Minneapolis. Visit the City of Minneapolis website and search for vaccine clinics. A message from the Minneapolis Health Department.
J&S Bean Factory is a Native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Hi, I'm Chuck Manette, owner of Native Concrete and Masonry. Whether it's cracks in your existing sidewalks, steps, chimney restoration, or a whole new project, you can trust our team to ensure satisfaction through detailed planning and precision. Native Concrete and Masonry is a Native American-owned business, and we have worked with our clients throughout the Twin Cities metro area. We work closely with our clients to accomplish our initiatives. Learn more at nativeconcretemasonry.com.
Hi, I'm Mary T, inviting you to experience our integrative Mary T Health and Wellness Center, offering physical, occupational, speech, and lymphedema therapies. Experience our guided imagery, meditation, Tibetan medicine, dry needling, massage services, including cupping and oncology massage. Sign up for our free wellness screenings and learn more at marytwellness.com. All major health insurance providers are accepted. Come for therapy, experience wellness.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies tonight with a low around 62, Wednesday partly sunny with a high near 79, and Thursday a chance for rain with a high around 80. From navigating life as a trans and Indian comedian to hilarious makeup mishaps, ALOC's hairy situation covers it all. Join them for an unforgettable comedy night on October 23rd at the Uptown Theater. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster.com. That's Ticketmaster.com.
Ani, and I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Hey, we're here with our friend Ruth Buffalo, president of Minnesota Indians Women's Resource Center here in the Twin Cities. And it's Ruth's birthday. And also on Wednesday, we want to remind everyone, Haley, about what's happening at 9 to 4 at MIWRC.
Yes. So MIWRC is going to be having that no charge eye clinic tomorrow, Wednesday, August 28th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is free consults with a physician and vision assessments and distribution of eyeglasses. And anyone above 6 is welcome.
Right on. Hey, Ruth, happy birthday again, and really happy to have you on. And just talking is a good medicine here on Native Roots Radio, all the great things that you're doing. And again, bravo to your husband and to your whole family, which now I've met all of them, I think.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I was going to say, you have to meet my mom, and my dad and my sisters. No, but yeah, and brother. Oh, yeah.
I think I've met them all that are here, but yeah, definitely. Yeah. So very interesting here. We are really excited. I talked about this earlier on the show, but I was driving home from the fair today and I saw a Tesla with stickers on it with the same font that said Kamala instead of Tesla. So I was really excited to talk about that. That was kind of fun in the first part, but I see things like that all over the place with what's happening here and how people are feeling.
For sure. I've seen handmade signs here on this street, at least 3 or 4 of them handmade. It's pretty cool. So it seems like there's some excitement there. So that's hopeful.
Yes, they're definitely very hopeful and really excited. Your daughter's a Gen Z, right? And Haley's a Gen Z, and I think they're very excited about what's happening here. That's the vibe that I've been getting, especially after she's got over $500 million right now, and a lot of people signed up to volunteer, which is huge, as you know, and I know from watching you campaign. It's so important to do that door knocking.
It is, and you can also do so much more, I would say, even just from within your comfort level, your comfort zone, by logging on through your laptop, and doing like phone banking. I remember helping with phone banking in Nevada, Arizona, just different areas, and they do. I think the pandemic, really. Whoops, looks like I'm freezing up. Goodness, let me turn
we hear you.
Okay, but yeah, I think back to like what the pandemic taught us in terms of like more virtual, different avenues. So yeah, like I remember being on Zooms, like they would kind of give you a orientation of phone banking through a Zoom with like hundreds of people, and then you could choose to stay logged in to that Zoom while you phone banked through your laptop, or you could come back at the certain time and check in. I know the Native Caucus also hosted a lot of phone banking, and it was fun. So yeah, I think there's so much you can do within your reach, whether it's going door to door or calling people through even your laptop.
Yeah, definitely. So really excited you were at and we talked about this before, but you were at the DNC, and I know I'm still walking on cloud nine, and really good vibes happening, and people still talking about how they're supporting the first possible African American woman, Asian woman president ever. So I'm really excited, and we both got to see our friend Lieutenant Governor Flanagan, and I told her, "Oh, you might have to change your promo with us." She said, "Don't jinx me." Oh,
yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of excitement just from visiting with like complete strangers, on the different shuttles during last week, and how people, which, so openly just share their excitement and how overcome with joy they are, and how, joy and hope were a lot of the kind of clear messages that came from last week. People of all ages and backgrounds, super excited to cast their vote, and to hopefully have a woman president, and to live to see it within their lifetime. I remember, I think Sunday at the ran across a colleague there at the state fair, and they had shared that their sales had tripled within the first few days, of in comparison to like a former presidential candidate. And so from when Hillary ran, they said that their sales had tripled from that point, surpassed the sales at that time. So it's exciting to hear, the joy and excitement, but also to see like the data and hear about the numbers as well.
well, what was interesting too is that I was worried about Chicago being a little messy because there's so many people, different groups that are under the Democratic table, but it went so smooth. Prior to that, people were nominated the vice president, and I was totally happy about that because, geez, that could have gone the different way, kind of like 1968 did, and all that mess. And it was in Chicago, so I was a little afraid of that, but we're clear sailing, and I think the blue team has really learned from the past, and have also become totally united, which is really, really good.
Yes, I hope that things kind of move more. Like, I hope things have peaked, and I hope that things will. I mean, of course, there's always going to be work that needs to get done, and so I think freeing Leonard Peltier is always top of mind, and so I hope that we never forget what's happening right here in our own backyard. And so it's important, that we have justice and humanitarian assistance and aid for all people, but never forgetting, the first peoples of these lands. And, as they say, we have to get Leonard free. And we can all be free. So.
Absolutely. And I'm really glad that you bring that up, and have first hand knowledge of Leonard and his health, and things like that, I was only able to interview him one time, and I know it's important. It would be a big deal, and we need to keep things like that in the forefront. And also, what's happening around the world, but there's no way that we're going to be able to push Project 2025 to a more progressive way. So we have to get Kamala in, and Walz. And I have issues with all of them, but I'm not a one issue voter now. I think that's one of the things that we have to look into as voters out there, but also once they're elected, put the heat on.
Yes, I agree. Pushing for accountability is important, and for sure, understanding and seeing and acknowledging that women and children oftentimes are targeted too. And so, how do we maintain that balance is super important while protecting our men and our boys, our sons and uncles and brothers. It's super important. When you look at the statistics and the over incarceration of our tribal relatives, it's alarming. And so there's lots of work that needs to be done, and to continue pushing for just a simple, good, healthy life that everybody deserves and needs to have access to, living a good, healthy, happy life, because unfortunately, like the data shows, there's incremental changes, improvements, but we still have a very low life expectancy as tribal people, as the first peoples of these lands. And it's not by coincidence. It's definitely is and was by design.
Yeah, you know what? I really like that you bring up the fact, and I know we've talked about this over the years, but about our incarcerated relatives. I really appreciate you bringing that up, because I don't think we as Native Roots Radio talk about that enough.
Yeah, it's a sad reality for many throughout Indian country. And so, yeah, it's there's these changes. So yes, we definitely hope that there will be, continued ongoing paradigm shifts in all levels of government, all levels of, I guess you could say, consciousness. But yeah, for sure. It's kind of like a sad reality for many, and it's, not like a trending hot buzzword. It's the sad reality that many face and continue to face.
Well, and again, I appreciate you bringing that up, because that is a huge deal. Our incarcerated relatives, we can go in and talk about, if you have money and power, that you like Trump didn't have to go into the service, and things like that really give us some trauma and things to act out on. And we need to bring our relatives that are incarcerated back into the circle.
For sure. And that's also a really good point with like our overrepresentation based off of what per capita in the military and military service, and still not getting the proper recognition or acknowledgement or services, access to services. I think of our veterans as well, and everything that they have overcome.
Yeah, and we've had so many come back with some form of PST, things happening in all the past wars. I know now there's a big thing about the cancer that our relatives that have been in the service are dealing with, because of all this rubber being burned out in the Middle East, and breathing that in these big pits where they burn things. And that's just ridiculous to hear too. And so we pray for our relatives for sure. And I appreciate you bringing up both our service relatives and our incarcerated relatives, because to a serious point, we really do need to talk about this a lot more.
No problem. I just no, it's just it's unfortunately it's so common in Indian country, and even just like early detection, getting regular doctor's visits are so important, and we need better care, access to care, and no discrimination when you are trying to access healthcare. So lots of work to do.
Well, thank you, Ruth, and thank you so much for coming on. Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center. Please look them up and give to this great organization. We'll see you next week, Ruth. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, mods a good odds. Thank you. See you.
Right on. The Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. Up next, Heather Keeler. Oh, wow.
It's back to school time, which means getting back to school ready. One important thing to add to your to-do list this year is making sure your child is up to date on their vaccinations. Getting vaccinated will help your family avoid missing out on school, activities, work, family events, and vacation. Keep your family healthy by talking with your healthcare provider or visiting our free vaccination clinics in Minneapolis. Visit the City of Minneapolis website and search for vaccine clinics. A message from the Minneapolis Health Department.
Bonjour, hello. My name is Wabin. I am an enrolled member of the White Earth Nation, descendant of the Navajo Nation, and co-chair of the Indigenous Employee Resource Group with the Minnesota Department of Transportation. MnDOT is hiring for a variety of positions from road maintenance to accounting and more. We offer great benefits. For more information or to set up a one-on-one resume and application assistance, visit mn.gov/careers, or you can text or call 612-257-2388. 612-257-2388.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Join AM 950 on Tuesday, September 10th for the AM 950 Presidential Debate Watching Party at Crooner's Supper Club. Doors open at 6 p.m. with a live broadcast at 7. Your ticket will get you into the debate watching party as well as pizza and light snacks. The debate begins at 8 p.m. and you can enjoy the debate bingo. There will also be a cash bar. Tuesday, September 10th at 6 p.m., it's the AM 950 Debate Watching Party at Crooner's Supper Club on Highway 65, just north of 694. Tickets are $25 and available at am950radio.com. That's am950radio.com.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations. How?
Hey, I heard our
You
friend,
heard me, right?
Heather Keeler. Yeah, Heather Keeler, a Minnesota State Representative. Welcome, as always, to Native Roots Radio.
Thanks. I feel like I'm out of breath. I literally was out doing campaign stuff because we got 70 days left. And I'm like, I got to run back to get on the radio. And so, like, sorry if I'm panting a bit, but, being here and talking with you all is really important. But also, engaging and being out in the community and being on the doors and strategizing is also really, really, really important. I saw a data point today that kind of made me nerd out and get really engaged, is that if you look back at where we were a week before the Hillary Trump election, Hillary was winning by much farther margins than what we're seeing right now. And so the point is we can all be really excited and we can be leaning into our Democratic candidates, but we have to show up. The work is so far from being done. And so I guess you said hi to me, right? And now I'm rambling about campaigning and what we're doing, but I feel like I just need everybody to know, doing little things every day, making sure your neighbors have a plan, making sure you actually have a plan to go vote. Early voting starts September 20th. People are getting sick. A lot of crazy things can happen. So plan, prepare, and bring out your relatives as well. So hi all. How are you?
Great. Thanks for bringing that up. Oh, looks like we got a little echo there. But hey, thanks for bringing that up. It's huge. And I know it's this time of year. I was at the state fair yesterday and broadcasting live, state representative, and the sun and the heat got to me and called Haley Harry and had to apologize many times. So I'm glad you're on, and I'm in air conditioning today.
Yes. Are you? I didn't really catch that. There was a bit of an echo.
Can you hear it?
I mean, I think I have an echo too. I'm pretty good at a lot of things, but understanding what that was kind of hard. But I know you said you're out at the state fair, right? Is sort of my guess. And it was Indigenous Peoples Day. Was that yesterday?
Sunday.
Sunday. I don't even know what day of the week it is, but it looked like a pretty good
Neither.
turnout. Were you guys busy at the booth?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had
it
it
was
was a great day, and it's always a great day to be at the fair for us. A lot of people come in and talk, listen to the show, and ask about people like you and how great it is that you're on the show. And I'm going to let you take over, seeing that we have a little echo, and talk about what you want to talk about. But I know school is just starting, and that's near and dear to all our hearts.
Yeah. So school is something that's really exciting. We tend to start in Moorhead earlier than everybody else in the state, right? And so, like, I know most school districts in Minnesota don't go back to school until after we get done with Labor Day and the fair and everything. But my kids went back to school yesterday. You know, I got Elliot, who's going to school, but also my oldest went off to college. And I feel like I know we've kind of talked about that as we've, when he graduated and over the summer, but I sort of like want to give a plug to all these parents who send their kids off to college and what that's feeling like right now. I have a lot of big emotions around it. I think, for us, we talk a lot about breaking glass ceilings and generational, path making. And we have a lot of our kids that it's really cool because I don't know, did I tell you this story when we went in to fill out all the applications for DJ? They kind of automatically started giving him all of the first generation like scholarship stuff. And it was really cool to be able to say, my kid's not first generation higher education. I went to school, my brother went to school, like my generation really went to school and got some degrees. And so I kind of want to pause to kind of acknowledge that we're breaking into this area that we're generationally going to school. We're going to school together. We see a lot of parents going to school with their kids. We see a lot of these older individuals going back for an education to further whatever it is they're doing in their career. And so I want to just give a huge shout out to more of those individuals that are going to school in higher education. Leaving home is always so hard. I think we've talked about that before. I think Haley and I have talked a little bit about that too, is like when you leave your home community to go to college, it can be really scary. And now, making sure that you go to a college in a state that maybe aligns with your political values and things that you find important and ways that you want to engage and activate within your communities too. So we're going to be doing a lot of work on college campuses as well, because I think one thing that's important for people to remember is if you go to college, you can still vote back in your hometown. Or if you go to college and you've been going to college there for a couple years and that's where you think you're going to land after you graduate, you can also register utilizing your college address. And so it's kind of a unique space for our students who are in college as they venture into where and how and who they want to vote for. And so that was kind of one of the things I wanted to make sure we bring up as kids are going to college and registering to vote. That's always one of those areas in September that we like to talk a lot about. And also, I want to shout out all the unchies and grandmas that are going back to school. I have sat in a couple graduations in the last couple years, and the increase of like our elders going back to school, and their reasoning is so wonderful, is that they want to be in these classrooms alongside our next generations and really guide them from a spiritual, cultural way. And I think that that's a really unique, beautiful thing that's happening. And I just want to call that out as well.
Well, that's awesome. And I think the University of Minnesota, if you're over 60 or 62, I believe you can go back to school for free. And that's something really cool. I was a old student, and so I appreciate I had to go get my license because I was a community expert for many years. But when the laws changed, I had to go back to school and get my license. And that's really important. And being a first generation and second generation now college students that are in my family, I just applaud what you had to say about that. And good on you and DJ.
Yeah. And it's cool because, in the stories that we've heard from so many of us, we were brilliant in our cultural ways, right? Or advocating for our people before we ever got the degrees. But in this society, it tells us to sit at these tables. We have to have degrees. And I can appreciate that we're showing up to engage, but we're also showing up to shift the way that our education systems look, we're learning different things. We're having different conversations because we're sitting in the classrooms as well. So that's super cool. One of the things, Robert, remember I was telling you guys we're doing the attendance, the legislative attendance and truancy study group. So we had our second meeting with stakeholders from Greater Minnesota and tribal nations specifically this week. And one thing that was brought up that I want to just kind of talk about and would love to hear your input on it is the impact that cultural experience has on our attendance, that we have a lot of kids that miss school because of cultural experience. And we talked a lot about ricing. Eugene Summers from White Earth joined and talked about the fact that, for many of our communities, they're going into the ricing season now. It's a massive economic driver for their local economics and their families. And they miss, that first 15 days of school. And so we've talked a lot about making sure that as we talk about attendance, that it's talking about cultural real life experiences. And it's making me want to go back to what you said, that we used to have like community experts that were able to come in and have these relationships with our kids, and how we can maybe expand that on some cultural experts as well. So doing a lot of work, doing a lot of good work. Get out, register to vote, make sure everybody knows to vote, have a plan.
Right on. Thank you so much, Heather. You people always say it's so great to hear you on Native Roots Radio, and we really appreciate you and appreciate everything you have to say. So thank you, Big Peenigi. Thank you so much for being on.
Wopida.
Right on. Right on. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you're part of the resistance from Chief Plenty Coops. The ground on which we stand on is sacred ground. It is the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office, and vote. We're still here. We are the seventh generation.
Hello, Twin Cities. I'm AJ Peters.